Nicolas Cage was born into a family of film. He dreamed big. He worked hard. His early roles were bold and strange. People noticed. Movies like Leaving Las Vegas brought him praise. He won an Oscar. His face became known around the world. He took many roles each year. Some were great, some were not. But his drive was clear. With fame came fast spending. He bought big homes, rare art, and wild cars. Taxes piled up. Debt grew. In time, he faced money trouble. Reports said he was near bankruptcy. It was a hard fall. Diego Maradona is a great footballer. He doesn't need any introduction. From childhood, football was his strength. His hard work paid off, and in 1986, he led Argentina to win the World Cup. This was the biggest success of his life. He earned millions from big clubs, and his popularity reached its peak. But after 1990, problems began. Bad habits, tax issues, and poor management ruined his financial situation. By the 2000s, he was burdened with huge debts. In 2024, millions of people earning more money than any generation before them are still broke. Not because they're lazy, not because they don't work hard, but because the system around money has changed faster than our understanding of it. Today, it's entirely possible to earn more than your parents ever did and feel poorer than they ever felt. Despite higher salaries, more opportunities, and unlimited access to financial information, most people feel like money enters their life and disappears almost immediately, which raises an uncomfortable question. What's the point of earning more if the real issue isn't how much money you make, but how you relate to it? Music, credit card debt, buy now, pay later loans, subscription services, and instant financing have quietly turned everyday life into a series of micropayments that never stop. Money no longer leaves your life in big, noticeable moments. It leaks out silently, and the burden of that leakage is carried disproportionately by those who can least afford it. Of course, these problems show up in statistics across the US, the UK, Canada, and beyond. But forget the numbers for a moment. Think about your own life. What is money to you? Does it arrive and vanish just as quickly? Has it ever placed you in a vulnerable position? One where you felt drawn toward shortcuts, hype, or promises of fast wealth? A course, a crypto tip, an influencer claiming they've cracked the code? While this channel often talks about money directly, I've come to believe something more important than income itself. Your perception of money often matters more than your ability to earn it. Because even now, with more tools than ever, our brains are still wired in ways that work against us financially. Does it really matter if you earn six figures if at the end of the year you have nothing to show for it? Where is the disconnect? And more importantly, how do we fix it? To answer that, we need a better framework for understanding money. One that's commonly mentioned in personal finance, but rarely internalized. Music. What is money? What is money? Or more accurately, what does money represent? When you tap your phone to pay for coffee, when a paycheck hits your account, when a subscription renews automatically at midnight. What is actually happening? Money is usually defined as a medium of exchange, a tool that facilitates trade. But that definition doesn't explain why money feels emotional, why it causes stress, guilt, pride, anxiety, or obsession. A more useful way to think about money is as an expression of value. You exchange money for something because you believe what you're getting is worth it. That value judgment might be rational, or it might be emotional, or social, or impulsive. But the exchange always comes down to perceived value. This matters because we often assign moral meaning to money. We say money is greedy, that wealth must come at someone else's expense, that rich people were lucky, unethical, or exploitative. Rarely do we ask, what value was created to generate that money? Understanding money as value helps remove the moral fog around it. Money doesn't make people good or bad. It amplifies what's already there. Yes, scammers exist, but that speaks to character, not currency. Money simply expands your options. What you do with it reflects your values. So if money is value, how does that help someone drowning in debt or living paycheck to paycheck? On its own, it doesn't. Which leads to a more important question. What is your relationship with money? Production versus consumption money enters your life, and money leaves your life. That relationship is usually described as income and expenses, but a more revealing way to see it is production versus consumption. Money enters your life because you produce value. For most people, that value comes from labor, a job. Money leaves your life when you consume. Rent, food delivery, streaming services, phones, cars, convenience. Over time, your net worth becomes a record of how well production and consumption are balanced. Now think back to the financial stress so many people feel today. Is the problem really production, or is it consumption quietly expanding to match or exceed income? Studies consistently show that a shocking number of people live paycheck to paycheck, including a significant portion of high earners. When someone earning well above the median income still manages to spend everything, the issue is rarely income. It's behavior. Production doesn't matter if consumption is out of control. History is full of high earners who collapsed financially, not because they didn't make money, but because they never learned how to keep it. The modern money trap. People often describe the rat race as working a 9-to-5 job. That's an oversimplification. A job isn't the trap. Living on a financial edge is. The real trap is being one unexpected event away from panic. A job loss, a medical bill, a family emergency. When money disappears the moment it arrives, your job stops being a choice and becomes a lifeline. You're no longer working towards something. You're running from instability. And the mental toll of that is enormous. Stress, anxiety, short-term thinking. In behavioral finance, this avoidance is called the ostrich effect, the instinct to avoid looking at uncomfortable financial truths. You don't check your account. You delay opening statements. You hope it sorts itself out. But awareness is the first step out. That usually begins with something unglamorous, tracking your expenses. Not to shame yourself, but to understand yourself. Once awareness exists, control becomes possible. Budgeting isn't about restriction. It's about intention. Living below your means isn't punishment. It's protection. An emergency fund isn't pessimism. It's resilience. Our spending habits are also distorted by powerful biases. Hyperbolic discounting pushes us toward instant gratification. Social proof convinces us to mirror the people around us. Algorithms constantly show us lifestyles designed to feel normal, even when they're not. Keeping up with the Joneses no longer means neighbors. It means feeds, stories, and curated highlights. And slowly, self-worth becomes tied to what we display rather than what we actually have. Production in the modern world. Many personal finance channels do an excellent job teaching people how to reduce consumption. They promote frugality, discipline, and long-term investing. And those strategies work for many people. But there's a second half of the equation that often gets less attention. Production. Reducing expenses has a ceiling. Increasing value creation does not. The people we admire financially rarely rely solely on cutting costs. They scale production. That doesn't always mean starting a traditional business. Production can come from content, software, skills, communities, creative work distributed through the internet. The modern economy rewards leverage, tools that allow one person to create value at scale. But not everyone needs to be an entrepreneur. Understanding production is about recognizing how your skills translate into value and where that value can reach more people. The internet has made that easier than ever, but it also removes excuses. The market decides what's valuable, not intentions. Conclusion. Money problems are rarely just math problems. They're behavioral, psychological, social. Understanding yourself as a consumer comes before optimizing yourself as a producer. Track what you consume. Understand why you consume. Then think seriously about how you create value. Because earning more money without changing your relationship with it only increases the speed at which it disappears. And that is the real trap. So if this is the truth, that most people spend their entire lives earning but never become free, then the question shouldn't be, how do I make more money? The real question is, how do I get out of the race? Because the rat race isn't a place, it's a habit, a mindset, an automatic mode of living. You wake up, you work, you spend, you get tired, you reward yourself, and then you repeat. And slowly, you forget why you started in the first place. The real enemy isn't a low salary. It isn't inflation. It isn't even the system. The real enemy is a life lived without thought. Now here's an uncomfortable question. If someone doubled your income tomorrow, but your habits stayed the same, where would you be in 5 years? You already know the answer. Because the problem was never money. It was direction. The way out of the rat race isn't a secret investment. It isn't a shortcut. It isn't a viral strategy. The path is boring, it's slow, and it demands discipline, which is exactly why most people never take it. The first step is to stop. Literally, stop. Before every purchase, before every "I deserve this" thought, before every comparison. Ask yourself, is this increasing my freedom or my dependence? It's not a glamorous question, but it's a life-saving one. The second step is to ignore. Stop blindly following what the world has normalized. Not every upgrade is necessary. Not every subscription adds value. Not every lifestyle goal is your goal. Discipline isn't deprivation. Discipline is respect for your future self. The third step is to create margin. People trapped in the rat race live with zero margin, zero savings, zero buffer, zero patience. Margin means spending less than you earn, not putting every dollar to work, but allowing some to buy peace, not chasing every opportunity, but waiting for the right one. Margin gives you space to think. And in today's world, space to think is a luxury. Now the final and most important step, production with patience. The people who escape the rat race are the ones who learn to create value without expecting immediate reward. A skill, a craft, knowledge, a system, slowly, unsexily, without applause. Here, discipline matters more than motivation. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going when no one is watching. And now the final question, the one that actually matters. If someone guaranteed you would never be rich, but you would be financially free, would you take that path? Because those two things are not the same. Looking rich is easy. Being free is hard. Rich people can still be trapped. Free people are rare. So maybe the goal isn't to win the rat race. Maybe the goal is to stop playing it altogether. And that is the difference between people who run forever and people who quietly walk away.